It was a night of hot tempers and heightened emotions here in the U.S. That's where town hall events hosted by Washington lawmakers put them face to face with the voters they represent. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley fielded questions in Iowa about a man from Maine mistakenly deported to El Salvador.
Are you going to bring that guy back from El Salvador?
Yeah.
Are you? Yeah. Why not?
Well, because that's not a power of Congress.
The Supreme Court said to bring him back.
We would like to know what you, as the people, the Congress, who are supposed to rein in this dictator, what are you going to do about it? These people have been sentenced to life imprisonment in a foreign country with no due process. Our government cannot do anything.
Now, Grassley is known for visiting all 99 counties in Iowa every year and says that his office has received more emails so far in 2025 than all of last year. Voters questioned his support of President Donald Trump and apparently weren't happy with the response.
If you're proud of voting for Trump and what he's doing in office, are you proud of everything he's doing right now?
There's no president that I've agreed with 100%.
I didn't say that.
Meanwhile, in Georgia, a town hall hosted by Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene turned violent after an altercation between a police officer and an attendee. Here's what CNN's crew saw. So what you're watching there is CNN crews witnessing police use a stun gun on at least two men after they refused to leave the event. Both men and another woman were arrested. Police say that officers used force that was, quote, necessary to gain compliance and control the situation. At least 11 more town halls are set to happen across the country tonight. Reed Binion now has more details on what lawmakers hope to accomplish on Tuesday.
Tempers flared as Washington lawmakers faced constituents at town halls on Tuesday. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene was interrupted several times by protesters at her town hall in Georgia, with police forcibly removing people from the event, arresting 3 individuals and using stun guns in 2 instances. Greene dismissed the interruptions and moved on.
Thank you to our great police officers.
She displayed some critical constituent questions about the Trump administration on a projector, reading them out loud, and responding in at least one case by pushing back.
Unfortunately, you're being brainwashed by the news that you're watching. A lot of Democrats pride themselves on being educated, and I suggest they educate themselves better.
In Iowa, Republican Senator Chuck Grassley took a different tack, mostly listening to concerns about the Trump administration.
I'm trying to recapture the constitutional authority of Article 1, Section 8, one of the 18 powers of Congress.
Democrats also faced pressure from constituents Tuesday, listening to criticism that they're not fighting hard enough to combat Trump and Republicans.
I hear the criticism that we're not doing enough. I'm never going to lie to somebody as a politician. I can't do things in the minority that I think people wish I could do. So I'm doing what I can do.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Town halls gone wild, complete with scrums and stun guns. That was the scene at an event for Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene in suburban Atlanta. Police arrested 3 people. They did use stun guns on 2 of them. Now, Greene did not take questions face to face. Instead, questions had to be submitted in writing, and she mocked anything that was critical. Protesters jumped at her several times.
Ladies and gentlemen, they're all inside the interior of the United States.
How about the KKK?
All inside the interior of the United States. You can head out. The protest is outside. Thank you very much. Protest is outside.
You bunch-bunny bigot! You bunch-bunny bigot!
Protest is outside.
Hey, good afternoon, YouTube. I'm back. I made a video earlier. Check that video out as well. But I am back, and I wanted to talk to you guys about. I was at home. I'm working from home today, so I was at home watching CNN, and I seen a couple of clips with Republican town halls, and basically Republican town halls going wild. And I was kind of like laughing to myself, and I'm like, I have to make a video regarding this because I know the narrative that Republicans are pushing is these are liberals and these are Democrat activists and they're just causing trouble and they're just making noise to make the Republicans look bad. And I'm not exactly sure how long they're going to run with that narrative, because these seem like these are ruby red counties and places. I mean, not to say that, you know, there can't be any activism, but these people seem like they're just pushing back on dictatorship and Donald Trump kind of defying judges and stuff that most Americans can get behind and say, okay, this is a democracy, this is a republic, we should not be doing these things. So it's disingenuous for them to push the narrative that it's just basically liberals and Democrats making noise. And it's almost belittling to their constituents, as if their constituents will have no issues with some of the things that's going on. Just because a Republican or conservative vote for Donald Trump does not mean they're going to fall in line with every single thing that he does. Now, MAGA falls in line with everything he does. It does not matter what he do. No matter, the man said he could shoot people on Fifth Avenue. And at first I was just like, okay, Donald, you're doing a lot. But now I believe him. I believe most of MAGA will stick with him even if he were to literally shoot someone on Fifth Avenue, which is so disturbing, like so disturbing, but we're gonna, you know, I digress. But these Republican town halls are basically people saying very normal, common, like they were talking about the guy that has been sent to El Salvador, and a judge basically ruled that that guy needs to be brought back. And Donald Trump and his administration is basically saying that they're not going to make any effort to bring the guy back. So they're literally defying a judge's order. It's going to be somebody in my comments, mark my words, somebody in my comments is going to be like, well, he's a lower level judge. This is the party of family values that will rationalize anything Donald Trump does. This is the party of family values. This is the party of law and order. And a judge has said to his administration, you have to bring this person back. You're going to have some Donald Trump supporters that's going to be like, well, the judge is a liberal activist and he's a low-level judge, so it doesn't matter. And we living through some scary times. We are living through some scary times when people are willing to just, they'll just bend the rules. They don't care. They will justify, rationalize every single thing this man does. And it's the reason that a lot of people believe it is a cult. Because when you can just find excuses and justifications for everything somebody does, even when you know it's wrong, they're either going to say that or they're going to say Joe Biden did it. Joe Biden did it. Joe Biden did it. So Donald Trump should be able to do everything that Joe Biden, because when Joe Biden did it, it was the worst thing that ever happened to Western civilization. But when Donald Trump does it, it's okay because Joe Biden did it too. Oh, okay. So anyway, so we see these town halls and we see people that's just like kind of going crazy. And one guy had to be tased. One guy literally had to be tased and carried out. Actually, I believe there was 2 men that were arrested, but one guy had to be tased. So these Republican town halls are really getting out of control, and the Republicans can keep pushing this narrative that is just liberals and Democrats and activists. The midterms are going to show it, and we'll see. We'll see. Like if we're going to concede that their point that these are just liberals and Democrats that's making noise, then they should be fine during the midterms, right? Everything should be okay, and everybody's job should be safe, and all the Republicans should get voted back in, and everything should be all good. I believe that a different reality is going to happen, but we'll see what happens. And here's my other point. Here's the larger point to me. Republicans like to push the narrative that America first. They're all about America. They're all about this country. They, you know, America first, right? Even if these are Democrats, even if these are liberals, they're Americans. So from that ideology that you're pushing, that America first, and it's all about America, 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 shouldn't you still care? Because regardless if they're liberal, Democrats, whatever, they are Americans. And they are saying that they have issues with the administration and what's going on with the administration. So if you're truly America first, it shouldn't matter that they're Democrats. It shouldn't matter that they're liberals. They are Americans. And there are Americans that's telling you that they are unhappy with the administration. But everybody is so partisan, so in their buckets that they don't even care. Because once you are, I guess, deemed a liberal or a Democrat, then it's like, oh, we don't care. We don't care that you're unhappy. We don't care that you're unhappy with the administration. We don't care that you feel like that there's a dictatorship here. We don't care that Donald Trump is defying judges' orders, because you're a Democrat. And it doesn't matter. Your opinions, your ideologies, nothing matters. Do you know how dangerous that is? Do you know how scary that is? That a person is willing to write you off because you're from a different political party? They're still Americans. They still pay taxes. Shouldn't you care about, especially if you are a Republican strategist or you're a Republican pundit? Even if they don't play for your side, they are still Americans. And you guys love to push this narrative, America first, and it's all about Americans. But you're not holding up to that, considering you're willing to dismiss these people because, in your opinion, and because it fits your narrative that they are Democrat agitators or activists or whatever the case. So you're willing to just write off their concerns because you believe they're not Republicans. I don't think the Republicans are going to fare well. I can be wrong, but I don't think they're going to fare well in the midterms, because they're way too comfortable pushing this narrative that everything they do not like is that of Democratic activists. And here's another thing, and this just popped in my head. Bernie Sanders and AOC, I know they're going to like liberal places, but I believe they had they were out on, not the campaign trail because they're not campaigning, but they're just out making speeches. And in one city, I believe it was 36,000 people. So here's how it looks. Let's talk about optics. We know that Donald Trump only cares about optics. We know the Republican Party only cares about what Donald Trump cares about. So optically, what it seems like is that Bernie Sanders, AOC, people who are progressive are getting warm welcomes. And then you have on the other side, Republican town halls going wild. People having to be tased, having to be dragged out. So even from an optic perspective, it still looks bad. You want to say these are just Democrats and they're just making noise. Okay, so why aren't, and I'm not advocating for this to happen, but if that's the case, then why aren't conservatives showing up to Bernie Sanders and AOC events and making noise? They should not do that, but that's not happening on this side, but it's happening on the Republican side. So this whole narrative is just liberal activists making noise. You can keep thinking that if you want to, because there's people at my job that are conservative and they are not happy. They're not happy. So you can keep pushing the narratives, oh, these are just activists and whatever the case. And I guess we'll see during the midterms. But I just kind of wanted to bring you guys these clips because, like I said, I was watching and I was just like, yeah, this is bad. And they can keep pushing the narrative that it's just Democrats making noise. And I believe, my personal opinion is that they'll see different in the midterms, because there are people who are middle of the road, more independent people, and then there are more conservative people that are not happy. They did not, yes, they voted for, now, let's be clear, some of them voted because of racism and sexism. A lot of them voted because of racism and sexism. But there are people who voted because they thought Donald Trump was going to get in there and he was going to lower the price of things. They did not think that he was going to defy judges' orders. They did not think that he was going to just make everything about DEI and trans and all of these things, or Greenland and all. People didn't vote for that. They didn't vote for him trying to take over Greenland. Like, nobody voted for that. And so we'll see during the midterms. If they are Democratic activists, then maybe the Republicans are going to sweep the midterms, and then they'll be able to say, I told you so. I don't think that's how it's going to go, but we will see. That is my commentary. Check out the clips. The clips, I'm going to put them in the beginning of the video, so you guys should have already seen those clips. And I will talk to you guys later. Like, comment, and subscribe. You guys know I'm so bad at that. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will talk to you later. Bye.